Before you can get your podcast out to podcatchers such as iTunes, you need to create an RSS feed. And you can do that on your own by actually writing the code, or you can use one of the many free services out there to create that RSS feed for you. And the nice thing about the services is that you can go back as many times as you need to and upload new podcasts, and all of the background technical stuff that goes on, they will take care of that for you. And the first one I'm going to show you, there are many of these online, but this is a pretty good one. It's called Podomatic, and you can find that at podomatic.com. In order to get a podcast through Podomatic, you want to go to the sign up button in the top right hand corner. And as you see, you can have a pro account, which you can pay for, or you can have a basic account, which is free. And you'll see that you have in the next step, Podomatic lets you choose a photo of yourself that you can share with other people through this service. You can either choose a file, browse for it, and click upload, or you can go down here and click skip for now. And that's all you need to do to get your account set up with Podomatic. At this point, you may be ready to publish your first podcast, so you go up to the publish area, choose podcast, and choose create. Now you're simply going to change the title. I'm going to say my first podcast. Next, you'll include a description if you want to of your podcast, but you certainly don't have to. And then you go down and click save and continue. So our next step is to upload a file. So you should have already created a podcast MP3 file for this already. So we'll click upload a file. And then all you need to do is go select some files, or in this case, we'll select one file. We'll find our MP3, and we'll see that the uploading process has begun. Great, so we see our file has been uploaded here, so we can say I'm finished uploading, close this window, and then we'll move on to the next tab here, which is tags. In tags, you can enter keywords or key phrases that are relevant to your subject area. And this allows others who are searching for your podcast to find it using these keywords and phrases. Next, we have some tags for iTunes and search filtering. This essentially is telling iTunes whether or not you have explicit language in your podcast. And if you're doing a podcast for education, I would assume it's not going to be explicit. So you can click on clean, or you can certainly click on none. But we'll click clean here just to verify that, and then click save and continue. Now before we publish, we can change a few of our publication settings. So we already set the quality output when we outputted from Audacity. So next we'll look at streaming. You can set this so that people cannot download your audio. They can stream it only, and you can do that by checking this box, but we'll leave it unchecked. We do want to publish now, so we're going to leave this as is. And then we can look at our title and description. I did not include a description here. And you can also attach an image to this episode. You can upload a new image for each episode if you choose. So everything looks good. We can look at our tags here. We didn't input any. It is clean, and that's the name of our media file. So we'll click save and continue. Great, now it says the status is our episode is being processed for publication, and we can go back home. So we've got our first podcast uploaded, and let's go to the publish menu here. We'll find our podcast, and we want to start to manage our podcast. And here you can choose a name for your podcast. It'll give you a default name, but what you're getting here is essentially a URL for your podcast. So if you want to say education podcast in here, it'll check the availability for that. And if it's available, it'll say educationpodcast.podomatic.com. And then you can point people to that URL to find your podcast online. So we'll click submit. We'll just take the default podcast URL they gave us. And now we're at the podcast management page. Now, anytime you want to check the statistics for your podcast, you can look at all these numbers here, and you can get a little bit more detail and drill down. But what we want to find next is our RSS feed, and you'll find that down here under promotional tools. So you'll just grab this RSS feed, copy it, and then when we come back, I'll show you how to add that RSS feed to iTunes.